everybody. My name is Pasha Moezzi. I was born in 1983 in Tehran, Iran. I have my education in fine arts and design arts, and I've also worked a lot with my father, who's a furniture designer. I got to have a lot of training in metal at my dad's studio and workshop. After I finished my studies at Concordia University, Montreal, I moved back and got to experience a little bit with him using very big machinery. I started to create jewelry, very sort of, avant-garde, contemporary jewelry using big machinery. And I wanted to have more experience in it. So I went to George Brown College and studied jewelry there. And yeah, I still make a lot of jewelry. And they're all mostly based on modern ideas, clean cuts, and the Automaton project has been very exciting for me, applying all of those skills to it and creating a project that I feel very happy about. So I basically started by researching a little bit about Automaton itself. I knew what it means, but I wanted to make sure that I have the right things down. And for me, it basically, as I have the first line here, a moving mechanical device made of imitation of a human being. So a robot, a self-functioning mechanism. And I particularly like this line about what I found during my Automaton research that said uncanny boundary between human and machine, which, is again about the effects of technology on our lives, kind of. And basically sources of inspiration for me, I wanted to use a lot of movement because that's what it was the most exciting part for me. Gears, and also a lot of elements drawn from sci-fi movies, which we later on will talk about a little bit. Futuristic influences, a lot of digital patterns and shapes, which I'm very drawn to. Specifically for Automaton, the Art Deco and the 1920s and the 30s always have been very interesting to me. So I thought I also use that for this project. So I'm just going to show you a bit of my previous work just to get an idea where I come from. This is a necklace I made for a third-year project at George Brown College. And it was the whole thesis was called Metropolis, and it was on the idea of big cities and city planning, city structure, infrastructures, layering, patterns, things like that. That sort of, these are two other pieces from the same collection. The left one is a ring. The right one are earrings. A lot of geometric shapes, a lot of symmetrical but asymmetrical shapes also that makes the whole composition work together. And these are also some of the other things that I drew my ideas from. On the left side, you see my production work, which is all about subtraction. I love subtracting things from elements, from objects. And then in the middle, you have a pattern that I also created for my third year thesis, which is roller printed a pattern onto a silver. And the pattern was made by myself on a computer. And we basically acid etched it onto a steel sheet and roller printed onto a silver. And then on the right hand side, you have tube setting, which is my favorite style of setting stones. It's just stones in a tube. I've used that a lot in my work. So, and I love, when I do ideation, I call it the Lego ideation, where I have a lot of elements and I play around with them. I started with a lot of drawings, as you can see on the left hand. I was trying to play with a lot of stones. I had to cancel some of them out. I ended up with a design on the right that you see. Still wasn't fully satisfied with it. So I started collecting other items from my previous work, Lego idea again, throwing it all down. I got somewhere, but I still wasn't quite happy. And this whole time, I was thinking about still robots, and specifically one in particular, which is, this is entre parenthèses here, the Metropolis of 1920s. It's a very, very remarkable movie, both in the design scene and the filmmaking industry. A lot of influences from Bauhaus and cubism and futuristic designs. Long story short, I want you guys to research this yourself, but there's a lady in this movie that at the end of the movie turns into a robot. I had a very sort of loose imagination and memory of her, and just started working with and that watch face I've had for a very long time, and it had mechanical gear movement, which I was very drawn to, and that's why I wanted to focus on that as the aspect that everything else comes to. And I slowly started playing around with, and I had a lot of robot obsessions in my life, so I was drawing it from all my memories from different robots. Like Wally, you see him on the left side, and it slowly started, and I wanted to add a lot of layers just to create more dimension. And then, so basically, that's what I ended up with. And it was basically that one on the left then some things had to be changed, as all designs kind of have to be changed and evolve. But I still, to this point, I haven't looked at images. And then I started looking at images to make the final touches. The ones on the left are from Metropolis. That's the lady who turned into the robot. The ones on the right, Wally, another robot from Wally. And the image in the middle is from Fifth Element, and the hands holding the circle is later on I realized I've used that in my design too, where the little basically stomach area is with the emerald stone in it. Kind of wanted to portray an idea of getting energy out of it. And then, so I basically, this is fabrication process. I usually like to make the bigger pieces just to line them up together, make sure everything's working out, creating dimensions again. And that's the pretty much 2 steps before being done. Just adding, as you can see on the right side, we decided to add a few more elements to it just to complete it and have more repetition for the shapes. Yeah, and then actually so this is the final piece. That was, excuse my hand in the background, but it was very good lighting, so I just decided to put this in there. So you can see the watch face, imagine all the gears turning. Unfortunately, my video wasn't working, so I didn't show it, but it winds up and the gears start turning. The stones in there is a sapphire and a blue stone, and the middle is an emerald. At the bottom is a tourmaline, and at the top, that spiky, looking like a siren, that's an opal. Yeah, so this is the final project. Basically, it's a brooch. I'm wearing it right now. I still haven't named it, but hopefully we will find a good name for it. And this is my roommate wearing the final piece. It's not the best picture, but you get the idea of how big it is. I wanted you guys to see it on the fabric. And yeah, this project was an enormous amount of fun for me. I'm very, very happy I did it. Thank you to everybody involved, especially Clara and Raquel for doing all the hard work and pushing us to do this. And I can't wait to see everybody's project and the final pieces. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.